The following program may contain mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. To those of you tuning into this episode of the WOSHL podcast, thank you. For those who are watching for the first time, welcome. The views and opinions of this podcast are mine and mine alone. They may or may not reflect the same views and opinions of the entire Western Ontario Super Hockey League, all people considered. However, that being said, I declare that I will continue to work tirelessly hard to bring this podcast to you. I will continue to deliver important information, highlights from any games that are streamed, and relay that information with honesty, with enthusiasm, with professionalism, and with integrity. I will do all of these things with the same care and dedication to the WOSHL League as I have done in the time that I've been involved with this senior hockey circuit. If you have any questions or concerns about anything I have ever said on here or while doing play-by-play during games, please feel free to contact me. Your host, Andrew Rogers. Hello, everyone. Andrew Rogers here, the host of the WOSHL podcast. This is episode number 28. Great to be back with you guys once again. This is our first WOSHL podcast of the WOSHL Super League Cup Finals. Very excited to be bringing this to you. The difference between last week's episode and this week's episode, I'm a year older, 37. Cool, I guess. I don't know. I've never really been much of a birthday person, but just the way I look at it is just another year, just another day. But it's different when you have people in your life that actually care about it and appreciate you and all that sort of stuff. So thanks for the love and appreciate it. Um, this week has been really, really annoying for me. Uh, Under the weather once again and really battling it. And that's why I sound the way I do. So I apologize in advance. But going to try and get through this. And with both WOSHL semifinal series finishing on Tuesday night, the making of this podcast became that much more difficult. Um, it's only so much time in the day, and that's the problem. But again, here we are. Alas, we are, and going to be getting the podcast hopefully uploaded for Saturday and for in time for game one of the WOSHL Super League Cup, which is now have been determined the Tillsonburg Thunder and the Alvinson Killer Bees. Man, oh man, this series is going to be awesome. Man, so we know that the Tillsonburg home games, they're the home seed. They have 4 of the 7. Trey Hamilton, John Delaney on the call there. And I'm absolutely honored to be able to share that myself and Joel Campbell will call the Alvinston Killer Bees home games. So be excited for that. Should be a blast, an absolutely phenomenal final we're shaping up for. Um, but yeah, we have highlights of games 5 and 6 of the respective series to show you how we got to this point. And then on the other side of that, there's some graphics I want to go through with you. We do have Joel Campbell back for the Alvinston Killer Bees commentator over there. And we had a nice little chat about the finals and get you teed up for game 1 on Saturday, 8:30, Tillsonburg Community Center between the Killer Bees and the Thunder. First game of the best of 7 in WOSHL Super League Cup 2024. And like I say, this series is going to be absolutely awesome. Anyways, video highlights first, go through the graphics, and then we'll get you to Joel Campbell on the other side.
All right, and after that lovely rendition of O Canada, we are ready for hockey here in Stratford. Starting in goal for the Alveston Killer Bees, number 35, Nolan de Koning. Starting in goal for the Stratford Fighting Irish, number 60, Zach Weir. Brian Hawley, welcome back in, buddy. You ready for hockey or what?
Absolutely, time to get it on. We've got the goalies we thought we'd have.
In the words of Marvin Gaye, let's get it on.
So what we got now is instantly we look at the matchups, and the Robbins line is not with the Chandler line, so let's see who's going to watch that Chandler line and try and calm down Brendan Feasy, who's been absolutely a monster in this series.
We lost to Gorman. Gorman ahead. It's feisty out there, but here comes Aiden Pruder. He has a man fly full goal. Scores! Wow! Aiden Pruder! That was a beautiful move to deke out Zach Weir. Almost ran out of room, but tucks it in from behind the goal line. Alveston strikes first. It's 1-0.
And a third turnover at the blue line, and a bad pinch by Coombe causes an odd man rush. The dude has, man.
And I think that might have hit the corner of the bar, too. Crossbar post.
Sounded really weird. If I agree with you, I think it went in the corner.
Big hit, and now Petrie's going to get a penalty, but they score! So Maverick Petrie was going to get a penalty as he was up the ice as he hit Sprovero. It was a delayed penalty call against Stratford. Are they still going to get one here?
Yep, they absolutely will. Coombs' penalty will come out. Another unnecessary penalty by Stratford, down 2-0. But I tell you what, this could be another blowout if we're not careful, because Stratford is, Ray Robbins only had one shift through 7 minutes of this hockey game. We'll see if that remains consistent throughout the third period.
First period. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, you know what I mean? Shot scores! Through traffic! Just like that, early on in the power play, the Irish strike. It's 2-1.
Fantastic job by the defense to get the puck through, and I believe it bounced in off the leg of Sean O'Brien. What a huge goal for Stratford. I think it was O'Bonnezwain who got that puck in through the first guy and got it to the net. So
to the line, it's going to be swiped at by Alveston. They're going to get it out of the zone.
A little bit of a too soft a pass going through the center area. If you're going to go across, you got to pass it harder than that.
Fuller! Chance scores! Wow, that was pretty. Almost a glove pass, but...
Well, he gloved it to himself behind his back. I think it was... Fuller
yeah,
who got a puck up waist high
and then put it on net.
Around behind his back, got his stick on it to put it on net,
and then Cooper Leach
Leach screams in for the rebound and slams it home, and just like that, it's 2-2 after a game that looked like it was going to get away on Stratford. And
it's out of the zone now and up the ice and into the Stratford end. This one's up and Winchester in across the line. Oh, he almost dangled in deep. Centering, good play by O'Bonnezwain on that back check. And now he's up the ice on this 3-on-2. O'Bonnezwain shoots, scores! Wow! A beautiful defensive effort from O'Bonnezwain to come back, lead the rush up the ice, join the rush, and he finishes it, and it's 3-2 Stratford.
Oh, and that's another shot that goes high glove side, in close on de Koning.
Face-off going to be controlled by Stratford. 6 seconds left, and Murray's going to pick it up in the corner, and he's just going to run the rest of this clock out. So, after one very exciting period of hockey here at the Allman, the Irish, after trailing 2-0, have come all the way back and scored 3 unanswered to take a 3-2 lead to the dressing room after 20 minutes of play. In here, series tied at 2, pivotal game 5, and first 20 lived up to the billing.
Well, it was a tale of 2 periods, really. The first 10 minutes, which was all Alveston, and they went up 2-0, and then took a penalty, and then Stratford took over the game and scored 3 unanswered to take a 3-2 lead, including a beautiful goal at the end there by O'Bonnezwain, who picked the top corner there very nicely. I think to see there that both Stratford forwards went directly to the points. Bavaro had the puck and Petrie chased him. Meanwhile, Martin was hard out on Feasy to make sure he didn't get a pass across.
So another win from Malvinston. Petrie hard on Spovero. Feasy's going to get it, shoot off a leg and into the corner. Back to Spovero again. Across, shoots, scores! What a pass! Spovero to McEwen. No mistake, power play goal. It's tied at 3.
So that is 3 penalties in the first 6.5 minutes of this period, and just exactly what they can't be doing is exactly what they are doing. Just parading, wearing out a path on the way to the penalty box, and you know, all the momentum they picked up at the end of the first period is now long gone, and they're going to scramble to try and kill off a penalty against this highly effective power play.
Very good, no question about it. BC shoot, scores! Wow! Through a maze of people and beats a helpless Zach Weir.
Oh, there's BC again. Goal. They let him shoot the puck again. O'Brien didn't get on his check like he's supposed to. Clearly that is what they're trying to do on this situation with the power play, is to take Feasy out of it, but you know, at the end of the day, like I said, they just keep wearing a path to the penalty box, and so far we got 7 goals in this game, and if memory serves, I believe 5 at least are on the power play.
Yeah. Only an appreciation of number 18 to Stratford. Up the zone, McEwen now in across the line. Feasy shoots it in deep. McEwen checked by O'Bonnasween. This one's to the line and out. And
now they need a change.
Petrie's going to get off with the long change too, and Brody Smith is on the ice. Feasy plays it up in across the line. They come. Feasy shoots, scores! Brandon Feasy once again on the power play. It's a 2-goal lead for Alvinston. It's 5-3.
Well, they had an opportunity to get a change and end up being tired, and next thing you know, you've got Feasy coming in alone. These are all ingredients that are going to get you, you know, playing golf in a week or so.
There you go. You heard it. So it's a 5-3 Alvinston lead here in Game 5. The series is tied at 2. Game 6 goes Tuesday night in Alvinston at the BAICC complex. 8:15 is the start time. And man, oh man, what a period it's been so far. Still have 7 minutes and 25 seconds left here in the second period. Off the end boards, Gorman going after it for Stratford. It's into the corner now, and it's going to be played away. MacArthur gave it away to Coombe, puts it in for Gorman, shoots, scores! Wow! A turnover from Riley Coombe, and it's Warren Gorman with a beautiful finish. Low blocker side, and just like that, Stratford responds. It's 5-4. For Stratford, just no goal as a result of it. Maybe a last-ditch chance here as O'Brien stepped on the puck and gave it away. Up to the boards. Fuller keeps it in. Tidgewell out of the box for back to 5-on-5. And it's going to be played away. Look out! Feasy's all alone on a breakaway. Shoot, scores! And it's 4 for Feasy with 3:44 to go. Tidgewell goes off. Feasy comes on, doesn't get picked up, and he's got 4 in the game. It's 6-4 Alvinston.
Well, there you
period on a 6-4 Alvinston lead as Fuller fires it right in on DeConing. He had to make one more save, and 0.8 left here. And they're motioning into the goaltender
Chandler
here.
out for this draw. All you want to do here is tie it up. If you're the defenseman, you should probably pull the goaltender here if you wanted to.
Well, Weir is still in the net, so O'Brien trying to...
a right-handed shot. I'm
Yeah.
not sure why a right-handed shot is taking that draw.
Anyway,
but
doesn't matter.
Can't do much anyway.
Final time runs off, and it's going to end the second period, 6-4. And Alvinston's going to carry a 2-goal lead to the intermission.
Penalties, egregious penalties. There are 1,000 people here come and watch them play hockey, and they decided to do it for themselves. Some of them, not all of them. So there's an old saying in sports. The regular season tells everybody what kind of player you are. The playoffs tells everybody what kind of person you are. We're going to find out what kind of men these Stratford Irish players are over the next 20 minutes.
We can also tell you from Tillsonburg, they're in the third period. It's 3-2 Tillsonburg Thunder over the Tilbury Bluebirds. That is also a Game 5 Game 5 series tied at 2. There's a goal! Matt Henderson! Boy, the power play had already expired as the player was coming off the ice, or out of the bench. You're muted.
It was a shot that looked like it was going over the net and hit something and went right down in the ice. And it's 18 seconds into the period. Stratford gets that 6-5 goal, which was all important. I mean, it's very easy for one to say you need to come out and get one early, but I don't think anybody anticipated one in 18 seconds.
It out now, though. Robbins.
Did I see that right?
Yeah, I did. You saw that right. Robbins with the headbutt to Graham Brulot on the puck. That was wild to watch. Winchester now drops for Spovero, shoots, saved by Weir, and he's going to hang on. That was wild.
You watch Ray Robbins often enough, and you just continue to see cool things that he does.
That was pretty neat.
Redirecting a pass in the air
with his helmet,
with his head.
Yeah, you won't see that very often.
If we can hold that highlight for the Canadian soccer program, perhaps there's a job for him there.
That was pretty impressive. It's like he's got a little bit of a soccer background there with the headbutt. We're halfway through period 3 here. It's a, whoa! It's in! Off the end boards! Wow! Talk about a fortuitous Alvinston bounce off the Stratford end boards. And Aiden Pruder scores again with 9:41 to go, and it's a 2-goal lead for Alvinston here. Ranger throws it up, and he'll dump it into the Alvinston zone. Coombe up there trying to get a forecheck in. He'll take his man into the boards. McEwen plays it away to Feezy. Feezy plays it ahead to McEwen. It's a 2-on-1. McEwen centering, scores! 5-4 goal! You're muted. You're muted.
Well, I tell you what, folks, that's going to end the game. And at the end of the day, I did mention, why is Riley Coombe on the ice? And
McEwen with the great hockey IQ slows it down. Perfect pass over to Freifogel, and what's Zach Weir to do but try and make a desperation save?
There's just too much talent on this team to go floating around and skating willy-nilly wherever you want to go, and there's no place for it in Game 5 of a semifinal series, and it's going to be Stratford's undoing in the end.
So 8-5 is now your score, and we have 3:36 to play. Stratford going to continue to push here. There's a shot. That's off a body. They score! Cooper Leach don't go anywhere. It's an 8-6 game. Boy, oh boy. That Freifogel goal is looking more and more massive.
And now you look back.
And this is crazy what is going on. Cooper Leach with the latest one, and it puts the lead back at 2. Pass across, centering, save, rebound. Oh my, what a save by DeConing. Weir is going to come out for the extra attacker. Played to the line, it's out. And Stratford's going to have to reset. Net is empty. And now Feezy with the empty net scores. Wow. And Brulot is upset. And so he should be. Boy, oh boy. Just disastrous for the Irish here. Man. Puck back in the Stratford end. We're down to 2:18 left. Puck is ahead, and Gorman's going to bring it into the zone. Got a man going to the net. Fans on it. Centering doesn't reach the net. Calvin Thompson with the shot. That doesn't reach the coning either. Scores! So the shot coming in from Justin Murray evaded a confused Nolan DeConing. That makes it 9-7. And all that extracurriculars that I was talking about earlier is happening now. Puck is cleared out, and Fuller's got to get after it, and he does. Robbins on the ice, extra attacker on. Stokes throws it into the zone. Alvinston's got to come out and get it. Brulot with the big check in behind the net, but they keep it in. Now it's back to Fuller. Fuller shoots! No! We're going to get a penalty here.
Both referees lift their arms at the same time, which I think is going to be Ray Robbins for goalie interference.
Man, oh man.
If he's out of the blue ice, then there's an argument to be made there, but clearly both referees made the same call at the same time, so you'd have to. You can only go on that assumption. So
no,
now,
you're right.
On top of everything else, it's going to be a 4-on-3 power play. If Stratford can get possession and get the puck out, they'll have an opportunity to pull
for Alvinston. It's a power play here, with 1:38 to go, and the puck is back in the Alvinston zone. MacArthur hasn't really played a whole lot here. McEwen now in across the line. He gets slammed by Cameron Stokes. Now it's going to be Chandler in. Goes to the net hard. Can't get the shot away, though, and it's Murray now with the puck. He's pressured by Chandler. He'll play it away. It's going to be picked off by McEwen. McEwen in. Off the skate, it's in! And, well, that's the game in a nutshell, isn't it? McEwen goes in off of a Stratford defender, and Alvinston has gone to double digits here in this game. It's now 10-7. An 8:15 start time, and boy, oh boy, what a hockey game. Alvinston wins. Brian, final thoughts?
The one I feel sorry for is Zach Weir, who played his heart out tonight, was left to his own devices, was left to try and help kill off who knows how many power plays.
Like I had to join.
Very nice rendition of O Canada there on the violin by Autumn Brissett. And yeah, you had to join in, absolutely.
I just saying, man, that sounded weird without the words, didn't it?
It did.
I loved it, though.
Perhaps one of the quieter moments we'll have in here all night. But
yeah, that's right.
It set the mood. There we go.
The mood is set, and we are ready for hockey here in Alvinston at the BAI CC Complex. Starting in goal for the Stratford Fighting Irish, number 60, Zach Weir. Starting in goal for the Alvinston Killer Bees, number 35, Nolan DeConing. Welcome in Joel Campbell. I am Andrew Rogers. We are ready for Game 6. Killer Bees lead in the best of 7, 3-2. Joel, take it away.
Absolutely exciting here. Both the goaltenders, Weir and DeConing, after having a very busy Saturday night, to say the least, are ready for this huge Game 6. Massive importance for both teams. For Stratford, down 3-2. Looking to force a Game 7 back in their own building, the Allman in Stratford, trying to push that continuing roll of road warrior victories. The road team 5-0 so far, but the Killer Bees with this huge Game 6 opportunity and a chance to clinch with a victory in front of this raucous home crowd that is ready to go. I cannot wait, Andrew. Let's get to it.
Here we go. Alvinston in the home, all blacks with the yellow trim. Stratford in the away, all greens, and we are underway here at the BAI CC Complex, a.k.a. the Hive.
And keep connecting those passes, but Stratford has made adjustments defensively tonight. I'm not even sure he saw it or whether it was just the flutter that fooled him, but yeah, the reaction was interesting to that puck.
That was. And the shot is in. It's Brendan Feasy. Sorry, folks, was muted on that. But it was a breakdown giveaway defensively by Stratford. And it's Feasy, who else, that gets the scoring started here in Alvinston. It's 1-0 Alvinston.
I tell you, Andrew, maybe the mic was off for a minute, but what we couldn't tell you with our voices, the crowd told you with their noise.
Yeah.
Alvinston puts in that first goal. Who else?
Brennan Feasy.
Adding to his total. Brennan
That's
Feasy
point number 30
scoring
in the playoffs.
30 in the playoffs. Unbelievable.
And goal number 18.
Shot. Another one there, just sent high past the net. But a power play opportunity for Stratford here with just over 2 minutes left in the first.
And again, McEwen, he gets disrupted as he puts it down the ice for Alvinston. Stratford going to have to start this power play in their own end. Again, this is a critical moment, I think, in the whole entire game, to be honest, because if Stratford can manage to get one on the power play, that's huge going into the intermission. Murray shoots, And so they score! Grant Brulot from his backside! That was unreal! I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that's an unbelievable goal from Grant Brulot that ties this game at 1. Joel, that was awesome. Did you see that?
Tremendous second effort, absolutely. Big shot in. The second effort there. Referees are in position. They don't lose sight of the puck. The opportunity's there.
16 seconds to go. Sprovero getting hacked a few times draws the ire of many.
He took a bunch of slashes there coming down the ice with the puck.
And now it's going to be played up, and that's going to do it. So, Joel, after an action-packed first period, nothing's decided. We're 1-1 after 20 here in Alvinston, and what a first period it was. We had a little bit of everything.
That's been the story of it here. I mean, we've had a couple of games that have opened up a lot more in Stratford with the 6-0 and 10-7 games, but all 3 games here in Alvinston have been tight, have been back and forth.
Commentator's booth. The no gondola, but the booth.
The crow's nest.
The crow's nest. Yeah, I love that. That's
right
actually really funny. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So 1-1 Joel after 20 minutes of play. We can tell you in the third period, 5-3 Tillsonburg lead with a chance to move on to the WOSHL Super League Cup final for a third consecutive year. Joel, what are your thoughts on the first period, man?
Fantastic back and forth aspects to every aspect of the game. Sorry, I got tongue-tied. Fantastic back and forth action with every aspect of the game present early on in the game. Saw good defense, I thought, from both teams.
Easy's going to put it across Sprovero. He was pressured immediately. McEwen's got it now with options. Down low, good play by Matt Fuller to get in the way of that pass. Here's a shot on Weir, makes a save, rebound, save as well. And it's fired out of the zone by Stratford.
More great defense by Stratford there. Like you said, the Bees with options, but we're up to the task.
40 seconds left in the power play. Alvinston's going to have to start from their own end. Feezy's going to have to reset. Now it's down to 30. Here's Faulkner across center into the Irish zone with it. He'll put it across. What a pass! They scored! James McEwen! Hayden Faulkner with the glorious pass to find a streaky McEwen. If it isn't Feesey, it's McEwen. It's 2-1 Alvinston, a power play goal.
Earlier tonight, you used the expression video game goal. That's about as video game as it gets. The 26 minutes of action plus the intermission.
Delayed offside for Alvinston here. It gives Stratford a little bit of time to come out of the zone, and they do. Robbins in across the line, drops, shoots, save, rebound! And a penalty's going to be called here as the Koning goes down.
A penalty's been called. I think the penalty is going to Stratford.
Is it to Ray Robbins for goalie interference?
I think it's going to someone from Stratford for sure, because they blew it while Stratford was in possession. And de Koning's down, and you don't like to see that.
That's the concern.
That's a big concern. He got his bell rung, and now they're checking on him, and this is not what you want to see. It wasn't soft contact either.
So again, I know people are going to dislike me for this, but Ray Robbins is not an egregious player. He doesn't play dirty. He doesn't do dirty things out on the ice. There is no way that he is intentionally trying to hurt Nolan de Koning. Let's put that in first, okay?
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. We have no way of understanding that. Like you said, based on the way he plays, I'd have to agree with you. And the Bees may still have a response for that kind of physical play.
I understand what you're saying.
So in terms of what we're going to look at for physical play, or perhaps the pressure that's put back on Weir to respond, it'll be interesting.
Well, and that's the thing. Do they respond in kind by going out and scoring on the power play, which they've done so regularly in this series?
That would be the smart way to do it. You go out there and it's like Coach Bombay said in those classic Mighty Ducks movies. Let's hit them where it hurts most, up there, right?
That's right, on the
scoreboard.
And
that's what the Killer Bees got to keep in mind. Things are looking okay down there with de Koning. He's still having a conversation with his trainer. I wouldn't be surprised if he's putting him through the steps of, making sure there's no concussion issues here, having a little conversation, testing range of motion, testing balance.
Did he make contact? The referees say yes. So no icing. to the line, kept in by Murray. Alvinston now trying to get the puck out, and they do. McEwen's going to kick it in. And now it's an icing call, so they are going to call icing against Alvinston.
Yeah, there's a dispute on
that.
that.
I thought McEwen got a skate on that.
It looked like McEwen did get a skate on it. I'm quite certain he tipped it. It changed directions. It was missed. So this will create a big face-off.
15.7.
15.7. Well, another lesson we've learned this series.
I know.
6-9's enough.
Yeah.
3-6 is enough.
Don't turn off the game yet.
Absolutely not.
Well, don't turn off the game at all, I'm just saying.
Of course, don't turn the game off, folks.
Won by Stratford. Henderson shoots well wide. Centering pass, no shot there. It's to the boards, and Feezy is going to bring it up. 5 seconds left. Feezy gets it to McGowan. Scores!
With 0.2 seconds on the clock. Depending on which storyline you believe, that is the second goal scored with 0.2 seconds on the clock. I can't believe this.
Well, we had the clock up for this, so there's no dispute there.
I mean, we were saying a minute ago, 16 seconds, lots of
What
time
a pass.
for Stratford to score in that
James
end.
McEwen bangs it home.
And what can you say? What can you say?
Are you not entertained?
Yes, perfectly. And you know how you said play every second? Play every second? They're playing every second. Now we're getting someone escorted off here. What's going on here?
It's coincidental penalties to Dylan Buckholtz and Dawson Winchester.
And unsportsmanlike conduct to both, if I heard what the referees said. So unsportsmanlike conduct.
2 and 2, not 10s.
2 and a 2, I would presume here. There they are. Okay, yep. So that means we got 4 on 4.
And that'll do it.
And that'll do it.
So, 40 minutes in the books. Alvinston leads in the best of 7, 3-2. They lead in the game 3-1.
Between these two teams, there's too much offensive firepower. But the Killer Bees have been in this situation before, holding a lead late, getting in. You gotta believe there's conversations and messaging in that locker room. Boys, hold that lead. Tight defense, smart puck control, keep up the offensive pressure. With Stratford, you gotta believe that message is all systems go. 20 minutes to leave it all out on the ice. Here we go. Stratford fighting to force a game 7. Alvinston trying to clinch it, send this crowd into a frenzy, and head to meet Tilsonburg in the Super Cup.
Goes into the corner. McEwen backhand down the ice. Stratford gets a change in. 4 minutes into the third. 55 left in the power play. Murray across center into the Alvinston zone. He'll go wide into the corner, plays it around the net. Excuse me. Murray still has it. Looking to the line, but he just rolls backwards to it. At the line now, shot deflected away, and Henderson's got to get back, but McEwen just plays it down smartly, and he'll go to the bench.
That just about resulted in a dangerous foot race, but Henderson able to get in position, prevent McEwen from breaking free.
Here comes Henderson through the middle of everyone, puts it back to Murray. Henderson has it now on the half boards. Roll into the corner, centering pass, he was looking for Brulot.
Excellent play by Pruder, he might get a rush here.
Pruder with Ryland Bowers, scores!
There it is. Probably one of the most dangerous hockey teams I've ever watched shorthanded. There's that break. What a huge play. And the goal by Ryland Bowers.
I know. Had nothing to do with you. Shot from the line, deflected into the corner. Cleared by Alvinston into the empty net.
And unfortunately, we may not be being heard right now. What a shame.
I don't know what they're chanting, Joel. Shot scores Riley Coombe, and 5-2 will now be the score.
So Riley Coombe with a goal there, absolutely. Nice goal by Coombe.
1:55 to go.
I can't pick the chant up either. They're saying we want someone, maybe McGee. Maybe McGee, there's some Sam McGee fans up there. Could be, but
and that's Calvin
lively
Thompson
crowd.
of Stratford, 1 to go with 62 of Alvinston, which everybody in Alvinston knows is Sam McGee.
They have been here for 2 games that have gone to overtime, and they have had to watch their Killer Bees be beaten in overtime by the Fighting Irish. And now, with 20 seconds to go, the crowd is roaring this team to the finish line. And here they go. We're going to let the crowd take it home as we count it down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. For the first time in their franchise history, the Alvinston Killer Bees will go to the Western Ontario Super Hockey League Super League Cup Final and face the Tillsonburg Thunder.
Joel, I mean,
it has been incredible.
Traditional handshakes, obviously, after a hard-fought 6-game series. And again, these teams battled for 6 games. You know, again, defending champs, a lot of pressure there, and, you know, put up a heck of a battle.
There's a lot of handshakes, but I'm watching the love and the respect for Zach Weir. He deserves it. Well, they all deserve it, but the camaraderie, you're right. This is a tough game. It's a war. These guys are war, they're veterans, they get the sport, and it's so good to see these 2 teams line up, shake hands, after a tough series. And the Stratford Fighting Irish got to hold their heads high.
Joel, these
Fantastic.
guys are men.
Absolutely.
They play for pride.
Absolutely.
They play with so much pride, so much passion, so much energy. They put their hearts and bodies and souls on the line every given night that they come to play. And that's what these 2 teams did. They put it all out there. They put everything out there for a chance to go and compete for a title. And it was just a matter of Alvinston being the better team in the 6 games that it took for them to defeat the defending champs and get a chance in their first WOSHL final to go in against the Tillsonburg Thunder team who's been there 3 times.
Thank you, Cindy. We appreciate you, as always. Best anthem singer in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Head coach Derek Partlow elects to start with his top line tonight. Mike Rebry, the captain. Braden Roberts centering. Mitch Fitzmaurice on the wing. And on the back end, we got number 5, the steady Brendan Barletta. And his partner tonight, Anthony Geldart. And for the Bluebirds, it's Dylan Denemy starting up front with Vlad Chagrincev and what it appears to be Ryan Kravatin. Kravatin's missed a couple of games in this series. He'll look to make his presence felt. Game 5, folks. Best of 3. Here we go. We're underway. Montgomery and center ice. Bumped off. Again, peel off for a change. Big Jamie Forsland behind his own net. Up the wing, finds Geldart. Geldart in the middle through the legs of Thompson, but on the stick of Kudo. Here's Brandon Kudo across the line. Waits, fires, save Polidori. Score! It's snuck through Polidori! What a shot by Kudo! Thunder strike first, and folks, Coots, there it is! 1-0 lead early for your Tillsonburg Thunder. For Polidori, that's a shaky goal to give up here early. I called the save. I thought he had it all the way, and it snuck right between the wickets. And on the first shot of the game, the Thunder strike first. Off down in the Tilbury end, 16:24 to play. 1-0 to score for the Thunder. good start for the Thunder. This is what they needed. Get that early goal here in this pivotal game 5. Tapsel for Van Boekel. Van Boekel walks the line, fires, score! Jack Van Boekel! Polidori's given up 2 goals on 2 shots early on. Thunder take the 2-0 lead in this pivotal game 5. In fairness to Polidori, I don't think he saw that shot. There were about 5 bodies in front of him. Sent up the wall. There's Whalen. Whalen chips it through. Knocked down by Holmes, offside though. And Winkler touched it. They didn't blow it dead though. Now up the wall, there's Whalen. Whalen in the middle. Asaikov's going to start up 3-on-2. Asaikov fires, saves Sagrat up in the air. Maine knocked it down. He's tied up by Abraham nicely. Now McQueen and Winkworth battle for that puck. McQueen gets it free. 17 seconds to play. Abraham bumps into Holmes. Maine has the puck. Back for Holmes. Shoots high and wide off the netting. Face-off won by the Thunder. Barletta chips up the wall. 4 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. After 1 period of play here in Tillsonburg, your Thunder take a 2-0 lead to the room. Shots on goal after 20 minutes. 15 for Tillsonburg, 11 for the visiting Bluebirds. Stick around, folks. It was a great first 20 minutes for the Thunder. To this Western Ontario Super Hockey League semifinal.
The other game's 3-2 and nothing but penalties.
That's what I heard. I was just saying that on the air. 3-2 after 1 period of play. So all right, we are ready for second period action. Roberts, Cravatin. Roberts wins the draw and we're underway by Geldard, and Denemy just has to send it in deep. Sagrat sends it up the wall. Cravatin right there, takes a shot, rebound off the goalpost. Jennings followed up the play and almost banged in the Bluebirds' first of the night. Big break for the Thunder. Now here's Denemy. Chips it in. Out of the reach of, I believe that's Butler. Winkworth on it. Winkworth tied up. Fitzmaurice works on him. Fitzmaurice has been out there a while, so is Barletta. They got to get those guys off the ice. They're tired. Winkworth gets it free, but Barletta takes it right back. Now it's tied up on the side of the net. Fitzmaurice starts up. Mitch Fitzmaurice fires on the tape. Baker, Kyle Baker in. Shoots. Score! Kyle Baker extends the lead to 3. What a shot from the rookie. Thunder take the 3-0 lead. What a pass from Mitch Fitzmaurice. Takes a big hit that time by Jamie Forsland. Forsland keeps it in the zone. Forsland taken down. Bentley starts up. Huge hit from Tapsel on Bentley. Bentley gets it through. Look out. Here's a Saikov in. To the backhand, drops back. Bentley shot, save Sagrat. Great save. He lost his stick though. He gets it back. Butler at the point, keeps it in. Jennings walks in, fires across, and that's a tap in from the Bluebirds. Terrible defensive coverage from the Thunder. And Bentley makes them pay. 3-1. 10:04 to go. 10 seconds. Tetro across Jennings. Spots Chigurtsev, he just fires a shot. Sagrat makes the easy save, and that'll tick down the final seconds here of the second period here at the Thunderdome. After 40 minutes, your Tillsonburg Thunder 3, the visiting Tilbury Bluebirds 1. Stick around, folks. We'll be back with third period action here on Sporfeed. All right, folks, welcome back to Tillsonburg Memorial Arena, the Thunderdome, the site of Game 5 of this Western Ontario Super Hockey League semifinal between your Tillsonburg Thunder and the Tilbury Bluebirds. After 40, score in favor of the Thunder, 3-1. Shots on goal in favor of the Bluebirds, 29-28. This is a huge third period. Can't really say much more for both teams. Expect Tilbury to come out flying here in the third period. They know that going back home down 3-2 in an elimination game at home on a Tuesday night is a tall task. And if there's anything we know about both these teams, they neither go away easily. Both teams put up good fights. Thunder have had a good defensive game. It's good to see Mike Rebry, the captain, on the ice. Not sure if he's just trying it out, but he went down in the second period with an injury, and it looks like he's feeling okay enough to start this period. So, 20 minutes, folks. Winner will put the other team on the brink of elimination. For the Thunder, keep your foot on the gas. Don't sit back. Don't play overly defensive hockey. Go out, keep your foot on the gas. For Tilbury, start the period strong. Try to get one in the first 5 minutes. Up for Fitzmaurice, but stick back in. Forsland stops up. Across Finley. Mike Finley fires it up, but Chagrintsev's there. Chagrincev works in. Turns it over. Here comes Fitzmaurice. Mitch Fitzmaurice cuts in, hit hard that time by Chagrincev. And then Tapsel sends it in on Polidori, who leaves it there for Tetro. Tetro starts up Chagrincev. Look out, Denemy might be behind the defense here. Butler for Chagrincev, he just tips it in. Fortunate for the Thunder, they weren't able to spot Denemy that time. Oh, and there's a good hit that time. Reverse hit by Baker on Chagrincev. Now play in the middle. Cravatin gets it free and scores. Ryan Cravatin buries it. And with 16:47 to play, the Bluebirds are back within one. So for the Thunder, both Colton Wyzek and Mike Rebry started this game. And both of them have not been on the ice. Wyzek hasn't been on the ice since early second period, and no Rebry here in this third period except the first shift. Here's Barletta at the point, across McQueen. McQueen finds it, waits. High point, Barletta shoots. St. Paul, rebound loose, score! Jamie McQueen! Queener strikes on the power play! Thunder restore the 2-goal lead! And oh boy, that penalty's gonna sting the Bluebirds bench. Thunder make them pay, and they take that 2-goal lead right back. So they call 2 minutes for head contact. Again, I didn't see that. Here's a Sykov across, great stick by Jamie Forsland. Saved a goal. Thunder got baited into that one, and they took the bait, but Jamie Forsland stood his ground and made a great play. Now at the point, McKibben. Under 10 minutes to play. McKibben walks the line across. Chagrincev waits. Down low, and it's out of the reach of a Sykov. A Sykov to the point, McKibben. Thunder penalty kill tired here. McKibben shoots off a leg and wide. Sagrad didn't see it. Chagrincev for McKibben on the backhand. Stops it up, fires. Scores through the screen. McKibben beats Sagrad, and the Bluebirds are back within one. Second period, extending the lead to 3. Bluebirds, as Kyle Baker would bury a beauty. Bluebirds get their first of the game, get 3-1, and then we go back and forth until here we sit at 4-3. So Bluebirds keep the net empty, 10 seconds to play. Forsland and Van Boekel on the ice. Roberts, the best faceoff man on the Thunder. Can he get it? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's through and it's blocked, and the Thunder win! Tilsonburg, be loud, be proud. Thunder hold on with a 4-3 victory here at the Thunderdome. We'll see you in Tilbury, Game 6. Thunder have the 3-2 series lead. Folks, what a game this was. Back and forth. Tough start for the Bluebirds. They went down 2-0. Credit them. They battled back. They got back in the game. But the Thunder struck where it mattered most. A 4-3 final score. And as we said, we head down to Tilbury. This now, elimination game. Bluebirds must win on Tuesday night. If we go to 7,
So yeah, guys, terrific stuff there in terms of our video highlights, jam-packed with good stuff. And this is again a look at our playoff bracket for you, and to see how we got here for the Killer Bees downing the Petrolia Squires, and then the one-seeded defending champs Stratford Fighting Irish to get to the finals for the first time in their 3-year history. And then you have the Tilsonburg Thunder, who defeated the Strathroy Jets and the Tilbury Bluebirds, um, 3-1, 4-2. And then for them, it's a third straight trip to the WOSHL. Excuse me. It's a third straight appearance for the Thunder in the Super League Cup championships. Again, looking at it like third time's a charm, and we'll see if this time will yield a different result. From there, guys, we go to the playoff leading scorers. Brennan Feasy continues to lead, and he's rewriting the record books in WOSHL playoff scoring. 18 goals, 14 assists, 32 points through 10 games. His teammate James McEwen, 28. Next highest up, Ray Robbins of Stratford finishes the playoffs with 17. You have Jacob Chandler of Alvinston with 16. Graham Brulot finishes his playoff with 15. Franco Spravero, defenseman of the Alvinston Killer Bees, with 15 points. Cameron Stokes of Stratford finishes with 14. Captain Dylan Denemy of the Tilbury Bluebirds, a 13-point playoff performance for him. His postseason is finished. Same with Justin Murray of Stratford with 13 points, and Aiden Pruder, number 28, 6 and 7 for 13, and continuing on in the WOSHL finals. And again, like you guys see here, 10-7 Killer Bees, 4-3 Thunder. Um, both of those teams winning, um, well, the Killer Bees winning on the road, Thunder winning at home, and then you had Thunder winning on the road in game 6, with the Killer Bees winning the first road game in that series in game number 6 at the BAICC complex. 5-2 was the result there. As you guys can see here, guys, by the numbers for the Killer Bees and the Tilsonburg Thunder, you also have our schedule there in the middle. This is for playoff scoring and playoff stats. Nolan DeConing leads all goaltenders with 7 playoff wins. His record 7-2. Matt Sagroff 4-2. Jesse Raymond 3-1. Over on the Thunder side of things. Leading scorer, obviously, Brandon Feasy, 32 points. McEwen, 28. Jacob Chandler, 16. Franco Spravero, 15. Aiden Pruder, 13. Rylan Bowers has been a nice playoff performer for the Killer Bees with 10 points over on that side. Like I say, 6 guys in double digits. Over on the Tilsonburg side of things, Mitch Fitzmaurice leads the Thunder in scoring with 11 points. Number 86, Brandon Kudo with 10. And it's a collection of depth scoring, as there's getting scoring from everybody. You have Mike Rebry, Braden Roberts up there, Brandon Barletta, all with 8 apiece. The real question is going to be, will we see the emergence and breakout of Jamie McQueen in these playoffs, as he's only registered 4 points so far. As you guys can see also from the schedule here, it is a flip-flop of home and away. It opens in Tilsonburg again tonight, 8:30 at the Tilsonburg Community Center. Friday, April 12th, 8 o'clock in Alvinston. Saturday, April 13th, 7:30 at Tilsonburg. Game 4 would then go Friday, April 19th at 8 o'clock in Alvinston. Game 5, if necessary, Saturday, April the 20th at 7:30 in Tilsonburg. Game number 6, Monday, April 22nd, 8 o'clock in Alvinston. And then I believe Game 7, just want to double check this for you folks. Okay, so we do have Game 7, which will take place, if necessary, Friday, April the 26th in Tilsonburg at 8:30. So again, that complete schedule has been uploaded and posted, and is confirmed. We can also tell you the season series between the two clubs. Alvinston 7-3 victors on home ice in the first matchup between these two teams. Alvinston then also coming out on top on the road, a 3-2 win in a one-on-one overtime situation in the regular season finale that prevented Tilsonburg from finishing first and gave Stratford the number 1 seed. And like I say, I expect a lot of those similar type of results in this final, very close-knit games. The question is, what is your series prediction? Do you expect the Killer Bees to win in 4, 5, 6, or 7, or are you taking the Thunder in 4, 5, excuse me, 6 or 7? The other interesting debate here is who is going to take home your WOSHL Podcast Award for the Finals MVP. I've listed a couple of names from both sides of things, or you could even think it's a dark horse that I haven't mentioned here. But you have Brendan Feasy, James McEwen, Franco Sparvero, goaltender Nolan DeConing, all of the Killer Bees, or are you going to go with the Thunder? Mitch Fitzmaurice, Brandon Kudo, Jamie McQueen, Matt Segrot, all of these guys absolutely potential to take home the WOSHL Podcast Award for Finals MVP, or will it be a dark horse that emerges? But yeah, guys, it's phenomenal stuff right now, and this is really at the height of it. We play all season long to get to this point where we finally get a series, a final, a championship series, and I think we are absolutely in for a dandy of a final between the Killer Bees and the Tillsonburg Thunder. Alvinston, the relative newcomer to the finals, they've never been there before in their 3 years. However, this is their first appearance, and they're red hot right now, having dispatched the defending champs. Tillsonburg, third straight appearance. Third time's a charm, maybe, but they don't want to repeat of the last 2 years with the opposition team hosting and hoisting the Super League Cup in their rink. So, again, who has the most pressure? Hard to say. It should be a lot of fun. Without further ado, our interview with Joel Campbell, commentator of the Alvinston Killer Bees. All right, folks. Welcome back. WOSHL Podcast, episode number 28, playoff edition, finals edition. After all this said and done, we're finally here, and couldn't be happier, couldn't be more excited for this time of year and for this specific moment. The WOSHL Super League Cup finals. The Alvinston Killer Bees, their first appearance. Tillsonburg Thunder, third straight. We welcome in Joel Campbell, commentator of the Alvinston Killer Bees. Great to have you on here again, Joel, and thanks for stopping in.
Great to be here. Good to see you again, Andrew.
You bet. Why don't we start with, what is the freshest in our minds, and that was Game 6, Alvinston, Stratford, Alvinston, big 5-2 victory. They really shut Stratford down. You and I were in doing the broadcast for that, and what were your thoughts overall from the Killer Bees performance?
It took the entire series, but we finally had a home ice win for one of the teams. It was a great game, very close back and forth early on, but as the game went on, the Killer Bees were able to outperform in all the aspects of the game. Were able to put the pressure on, score the big goals when they needed to. I thought it was another tremendous game from the names we've come to expect. Brennan Feasy, James McEwen, really good puck control by Bailey Freifogel, Carson Perry, and solid goaltending from Nolan DeConing, including just a great third period to hold that lead. Do that one thing they needed to do was to hold that lead. And on a night where their house was absolutely packed, probably the biggest crowd of all the playoff games, including two local hockey teams celebrating big accomplishments. The Killer Bees performed very well on home ice, and but just to say, just an absolutely incredible series by both teams. What a playoff matchup! It's going to be tough to top.
Well, and that's just it. So for Alvinston, obviously, two incredibly difficult series going up against Petrolia, a Lambton County rivalry there that they've ignited and started and, just absolutely thrilled us with. And then taking down the defending champs, again, to prove their worth, to prove that they belong, to prove that this finals appearance is no joke. And now they get the team that's been there 3 straight years, obviously been there, but haven't done that. They haven't won, even though they've been there 3 straight times, or now this is the third, but they haven't won in the finals. So both teams with plenty to prove. And this series is good. Like, this final is going to be awesome.
It is. Those were two storylines. Were the first thing I was thinking about. Tilsonburg, obviously no stranger to the Super League Cup Finals, having been there the last 2 years, as you said, and not quite finishing the season the way they wanted. Obviously, in the final, now getting another crack. But boy, are these Killer Bees hungry. They took on, as you said, their county rivals. They dethroned the defending champions, the number one seed. And this is a team firing on all cylinders. And I thought they played their most complete game of the entire playoffs in game six. Everything was clicking when it needed to. Maybe it wasn't as many goals as some of the other games, particularly game five in Stratford. But they're going to give Tilsonburg a real run for their money. Both teams with a lot to play for. Without a doubt, this is going to be an entertaining series.
Um, the biggest question on my mind, and I know this is gonna sound stupid the second I say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Um, Brendan Feesy's been on fire. 32 points in the playoffs. He's smashing records, rewriting the record books of WOSHL hockey, and he's just been an absolute dynamite of a player to watch. And behold the skill set. Does it continue, or does he burn out?
I'm not seeing any indication of him burning out right now. To be honest with you, Feezy looked great in both the goal that he scored there, the points he got, and even his close calls the other night. He looked as sharp as he has throughout the series. A couple of days of rest will probably do the team's wonders, but you don't want that rest to be too long and for lag to build up. Alvinston's no stranger to having to go into road situations and pull wins out. And I know Feezy will be of the mindset to be ready for that. I have to believe James McEwen will too. Both those two sitting now comfortably above the past playoff scoring record for most points in a playoff run, and we still have the entire finals to play.
Right.
I think with Feezy and McEwen leading the way, and with the supporting cast they have all around, they're a really well put together team. But no, in all honesty, I think Feezy still has it left in the tank, and he wants to get the job done here with Alvinston in this final series.
Well said. I mean, obviously, it's no secret, I guess, is the point here, that Feezy and McEwen are rolling at dynamite clips right now, and they seem so unstoppable. I think Tilsonburg will be as good of a test as Stratford was. They had identical records. Stratford getting the one seed over because of the head to head. But Tilsonburg finished with the top amount of goals in the season, and both teams can score. But I'm really interested to see how the goaltending situation plays out. I think DeConing, obviously, he's earned the net 7 playoff wins, 2 losses, tops amongst all qualified goaltenders in the playoffs this year. And he's been stellar. He had a shutout in the semifinals. But it's really interesting on the other side because you have Matt Sagrad, who's kind of taken the net over Jesse Raymond, but Raymond's just as good and can be and will be ready if needed. I'm just really wondering how the goalie situation hangs up in this finals.
Yeah, it is an interesting one, as you mentioned, that duo dynamic there. To an extent, we saw that with Stratford in that we had 2 starts by Darren Smith in that series too.
Right.
Maybe not quite to the extent of the even balance that we see with the Tilsonburg Tenders. I agree with you that Nolan DeConing, without a doubt, was solid. It has been solid. In reading the article put together by Trey Hamilton and reading some of the comments, you can see one of the big accomplishments that Tilsonburg's touting is that they took on the 2 best goaltenders in the league.
Evan
right?
DeBrouwer and Ryan
Yes.
Polidori. So yeah,
Right,
easily you can make that argument that they were the best goalies this year. Polidori for the second straight year best in WOSHL.
Yeah, and what makes that interesting is the comment you made just prior as you were asking me your question, is that the best goaltender of these playoffs has arguably been Nolan DeConing.
Right.
And so now they're going to have that matchup. And when you put that together with the offensive firepower that we've seen the Bees put out, these haven't been low-scoring affairs. The number of goals they've been generating, particularly in that last semifinal series, it really could come down to a show of the goaltenders as well as this very exciting offensive and defensive matchup.
Well, that's just the thing. I'm not 1,000% sure because I don't have the numbers in front of me. I'm not sure how many goals they scored in the Petrolia series. However, I know they did score 35 in the Stratford semifinal. So again, they're scoring at a ridiculous clip. Feezy and McEwen, unbelievable stats, 32 and 28, I think. They're the top playoff scorer for Tilsonburg is Mitch Fitzmaurice with 11. So again, that's pretty remarkable to think about when you put it in that perspective that, again, but the thing is that what I've noticed, at least if you look by numbers sake, right, Joel?
Right.
So Alvinston, they're getting points produced by two guys and at a ridiculous number. But Tilsonburg, if you've noticed, there's a lot of depth scoring there. They can score from all four lines.
See, and that's an interesting fact as well. Again, that benefits you well as you play deeper into the game. But as we look around too, when you start to look beyond Feezy and McEwen, and you look at the numbers that some of the other players are putting up in terms of points, you have multiple killer bees in that top 10 of scoring. And there's some guys who maybe didn't accumulate massive point totals in the semifinal round that we know are capable of putting up even more. And if they're taken for granted by Tilsonburg, look out for guys like Carson Perry, like Bailey Freifogel, and multiple others there. So again, it will be an interesting matchup between the other players and the supporting roles and line depth. That'll all be very interesting. But the clip at which Alvinston produced points in that series was absolutely ridiculous.
It was.
I think in any case, I mean, even if you look at the scores and how those final two games in the last month between Tilsonburg and the Killer Bees went down. There's interesting stories there, particularly the final game that required, I think it was triple overtime to resolve?
So they went 3-on-3, 2-on-2, and then 1-on-1. Who was on the ice? Well, Brendan Feezy wasn't available yet. We know that. Right. He didn't show up until game 1 of the playoffs. McEwen faces off against Jamie McQueen. McEwen goes forward off the faceoff, comes down, scores within a matter of seconds. This thing was awesome. I was there for that. I did the call with Trey Hamilton. That was honestly one of the more exciting games of the WOSHL regular season that didn't happen until the very last game of the WOSHL regular season. Now, again, Feezy's the X factor because he wasn't there for any of those matchups. So I'm really interested to see how the Thunder defend Brendan Feezy.
Well, I'd see one of the benefits, at least, of this league having so much live streaming as well as highlight packages and the packages shown on this podcast that tend to be shown earlier on is they get a look at the other team. But Feezy, very difficult player, and we've seen him score from various points on the ice. That's a really good point. I didn't want to take that for granted. Is with Feezy's addition, that changes the dynamic. The other, of course, change being an obvious one. This time, if overtimes go on and on and on, we're not getting down to 3-2-1 players. No. We keep playing. The overtimes we saw weren't that long. The longest one being maybe into the final 3 or 4 minutes of the first overtime. The others were quick, but so much interest in this series. It's exciting. It really, really is, with both teams having big chances to achieve historic firsts here.
Okay, so I'll pose the question to you. I know it's going to be difficult, but I'll let you give a shot at it anyway. Alvinston wins this final if they do what?
Play a complete team game like they did in Game 6.
Okay, that's straight and to the point. I was expecting you to elaborate a little. No,
in terms of elaborating, I mean, I could have just said generate offense, generate offense, generate offense. But at the same time, and you do want that, but at the same time, you don't ideally want to be giving up 6-7 goals. That 10-7 game in Game 5 was interesting. Yeah. I liked Game 6 better because I saw defensive adjustments. Right. The coning was sharp. I think if they play with the offensive strength they have been, they play that all-around game. And I mean, one other trend in the last series, I think, when Alvinston had that open ice, And I'm going to define open ice in a weird way. 4-on-4 power play or even shorthanded on the penalty kill, they found ways to score. We saw shorties, we saw power play, we saw 4-on-4 goals. They know how to use that extra ice, even if they're the ones on the short end of the player stick.
Well, let's bridge that then. Talk about discipline for a minute there, because obviously we saw that at a forefront in the semifinal Stratford Alvinston. Discipline is going to be key no matter what series, at what point, but it's so much more magnitude, if you will, in a final. I mean, that you got to keep your head at a point because you don't want to be giving up a game-winning power play goal in an overtime for a series, for a finals win. I'm just saying discipline is going to be huge in this series.
You're absolutely right. We saw plenty of penalties called against both the Irish and the Killer Bees throughout the series that we just called together, and it definitely made a difference throughout. There wasn't a lot of undisciplined play by the Killer Bees there in Game 6, maybe a little more so in Game 5. But if the Bees can stay out of the box, as well as Tilsonburg staying out of the box, you're doing what your fans want you to do. You want to keep your best weapons on the ice. I'll mention one costly penalty that I personally think was costly from Game 6 was the additional 10-minute misconduct that was given to Ray Robbins following the head contact on the good hard pressure to the net on Nolan DeConing.
Right.
I mean, something like that is costly. So if either team has one of their big guns facing that situation, right? You don't want that, which is difficult because you want to keep that pressure up. You want to keep that tight physical game, put pressure on the goalie, but at the same time, you got to be smart and you don't want to dig your team a hole it doesn't need to be in.
Well, Joel, I can tell you this from experience here. This series will be physical. This series will be competitive. This series will be entertaining, to say the least. It won't be as mean-spirited as the Stratford series. I can tell you that right now. It will not be as mean-spirited as the Petrolia series. I can tell you that right now. But that's not to say that these two teams hate each other. I don't think they do necessarily, but both teams want it. And it's just a matter of who wants it more. You can make the argument both sides. Alvinston, they want it because they want to prove themselves. They want to prove to everyone else that they are who they say they are or who they want them to think they are. For Tilsonburg, it's obvious, third straight time, can't have that happen again. Man, it's going to be so much fun, really. I mean, what is your overall expectation? Can you give us an overall prediction maybe? Or do you want to do that, Joel? I don't know.
So I won't get into predictions here. I'm hoping for a series anywhere near as fantastic as the one we just had. Absolutely. Right. One thing I like about the way you pictured that is it's not like the two neighborhood dogs that hate each other, bark at each other nonstop, can't wait to get at each other. These are two extremely hungry dogs fighting over a bone.
Right.
One's already had a taste of the bone twice. They really, really want it. The other is that young, scrappy upcomer that all year has been playing with the mantra, they're versus everybody, Alvy versus everybody. Yeah. Well, Alvy knows there's only one left. It's Tilsonburg, and they are that close to that cup. Tilsonburg has had two opportunities. They want it, but so does Alvy. The dogs are going to fight, and man, it's going to be a good one. I just cannot wait. In terms of predictions, all I can say is maybe this: expect the unexpected.
Okay,
and if you buy a ticket, you're going to get way more than your money's worth.
Dude, you're stealing my lines. It's hilarious. Anyways, all right.
Hey, what can I say, man? Yeah. We pick up on things from each other. So there you go.
Us commentators, we think alike. Game 1 this Saturday, 8:30 at the Tilsonburg Community Center. Alvinston and Tilsonburg in the Super League Cup final. We've been speaking with commentator Joel Campbell of the Alvinston Killer Bees. Joel, it's been a pleasure. We'll see you in Game 2. Thanks for doing this.
Hey, excellent. Looking forward to seeing you again Game 2. It's going to be a fantastic series. And if you're a new fan out there, a fan who's kind of lost touch the last few games, you got to start watching now. You do not want to miss this.
Well said, Joel. Thanks, buddy. All right, folks. Once again, want to thank Joel Campbell for hopping on and doing this podcast for you. Finals edition. Great guy to talk with, and look forward to calling the Alvinston home games 2, 4, and if necessary 6. But we're really excited for getting the WOSHL Super League Cup championship final underway this upcoming Saturday, 8:30 at Tillsonburg Community Center. Game 1, Thunder and Killer Bees. It's going to be so much fun. I'm Andrew Rogers, the host of the WOSHL podcast. You've been watching, sponsored by VMF Sportswear and Apparel. We'll see you guys next week after game number 1. We'll give you all the recaps and we'll get you more interviews on next week's edition of the podcast. Stay safe, everyone. All the best. Enjoy the Super League Cup final.